If you're lucky in your own home, you're a king. There's a popular Australian movie called The Castle, and it's about a bunch of bogans who are just a regular lower middle class Australian family, and they take pleasure in life's simple things. And their house is about to be bulldozed so they can develop it. Part of the airport, I think, is the premise of the movie, and he stands up for himself and gets it overturned in the High Court because every man's home is his castle. And it's true. At home, you're the fucking boss. You get to decide how things are run and what's cool and what's not cool. When you venture out into public, all that changes. You can try and pick your spots. You can try and go to locations and destinations that reflect your values and will potentially minimize your chances of running into morons. But you can't escape them, baby. They're out there. And one of my favorite things slash most annoying things in life is when you find yourself in the midst of some morons. Could be at an airport, could be at the gym, could be at the local Kroger, could be at the park, and you find yourself around a couple of other morons who are really vibing off each other. And it's not the compulsory, I've just met you, we need to be friendly, we're in public, uh, fake it thing. Because sometimes there's a moron, right? And it's clear that they are a total snapperhead or the American equivalent, a fucking squirrel chaser. And that person's announced themselves through their mere presence to be a fucking snapperhead slash squirrel chaser. Everyone knows they are. But there's like a good hearted individual around who will like humor them. They will take one for the team, if you will, and get on their level. But you can kind of see the subtext of what they're doing. You're like, oh, you're a fucking hero. You're jumping on a fucking landmine for the rest of us because you can kind of tell that through your Super Saiyan levels of niceness, you can placate this moron and shield the rest of us from it, and prevent everyone else from getting stuck in their orbit. You'll do it for us. I'm not talking about that situation. It's when two snapperheads align with one another. A squirrel chaser is chasing a fucking squirrel, annoying the fuck out of everyone. And on their squirrel chasing adventures, they bump into someone else who's also chasing a fucking squirrel. Maybe they're chasing the same squirrel. That's why they vibe so much. And so you have to be in the vicinity of these two fuckheads, just exploring lowest common denominator convos and reaching very obvious conclusions loudly in your vicinity. You start to feel like you've got some type of crystal ball as well. You're like, all right, they're on the weather now. I'm guessing they're going to be talking about fucking Taylor Swift in about 5 minutes. And then you have a little countdown, and then ding, 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 ding. There's sure a lot of people on the market to go to that Taylor Swift concert the other night. Did you catch that? Well, gosh damn it, darn it, I sure did. And yeah, on one hand you're like, I'm fucking nailing this. I can fucking I can see this I can see this interaction unfolding like fucking Minority Report type of shit. You're like those baldy twin fuckers in the bath thing. You've got some fucking super seer vision. But then you're also like, fucking hell. What's wrong with me? Because then the kind of you turn the gun towards yourself. You realize you're kind of living in vitriol, and these two people, even though you would like to think most people consider them morons, they're also kind of having a good time because they found one another. What are you doing? You're just sitting there stewing, repulsed by themselves, and then eventually repulsed by yourself because you kind of like, ugh, at least they've got each other. What have I got? My own cold misanthropic blanket that's failing to keep me warm through these bitterly cold winter evenings. Yeah, I guess there's like a sense of moral superiority. You can kind of think that like all this shit. I used to speak about this type of stuff. I don't speak about it anymore. Uh and I guess it also comes down to like an extroversion introversion thing. Some people need a fucker to talk to, right? I think we all get like that sometimes. You know, when you've had a fucking one too many coffees, you're like, I've had three this morning and I need to fucking have a 3 sentence conversation with a stranger. And you blurt something out as you're walking down the aisle, you know, at the fucking grocery store or something. Someone's like, by the tea aisle, and you're like, go for this brand of Earl Grey. You won't fucking regret it. And they're like, really? And you're like, best decision I ever made. Do it. Buy 2 packs. They got a 2 for 1 deal. Have a great day. That's what I find myself doing sometimes. I'm like, and as I'm doing, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? This is the coffee talking. Oh, but then you get it out your system. You're like, all right, I've the kettle has boiled. The extroversion tension, positive energy has been released. Now I can kind of get on with my day. Go back to being a fucking quiet weirdo. But other people aren't. They just the kettle's always boiling. They need to fucking vent and spurt out. Other people are completely the opposite. But yeah, it is frustrating, and yeah, you also kind of like I don't know if you're a self-aware person, you kind of realize how little you know understand about the world. So you kind of like, oh well, I'm a moron myself, but I'm just not a moron in the same way that these two are morons. Why can't I find a moron like me? is the conclusion I like to come to, as opposed to like, oh, I'm better than fucking everyone. I can't find someone who's, you know, I of course I'm not going to find anyone. There are people out there like me. I'm not letting my freak flag fly like a lot of these extroverted morons do. So they can find each other. They're fucking slamming into each other as they're chasing squirrels, whereas I'm quietly stewing on things. And so I need fucking like a hologram or a thought bubble above my head. And to join some type of like secretive social media network for fucking misanthropes so that you can kind of vibe each other out by realizing like, oh, that fucker over there with the trench coat who I thought was wanking in the park is actually having the same kind of irritated thoughts that I am about these two morons, these two squirrel chasers. We should go grab a bite and maybe a cup of coffee and rant about how fucking annoying those two morons in the park were. So I think I've stumbled upon a good social network idea here. If you're interested, this could be the new Raya. Let's talk seed funding. Let's talk about market integration. Let's talk about capitalization. Hit me up in the comments. We got a fucking we got a Moby Dick on our hands. Catch you on the next one.